Sam Saltman, and you are watching Heavy Metal Television. Right. I am here with Markus from Helloween.
All right, all right.
Bass player for Helloween, one of the original members.
Oh, of course.
Well, welcome back to the U.S., Markus.
Thank you.
This tour seems to be what every heavy metal fan in the world seems to be talking about, including all of us.
Yeah, and I like it.
Yes, one thing I would like to ask you, I'm sure you had high expectations and knew that there would be a popular tour, but has it even exceeded your expectations?
Well, in some places, we did some very, very cool places in South America, loads of people, you know. It was like, and in Japan, we didn't know what to expect when we first booked this tour.
Okay.
You know? It was kind of clear that there was like a couple of more people maybe, but nobody really knew 100% what's going on with that idea, right? So we had some places in Japan. We booked a show. We were about to book Budokan, you know.
Yes.
Because that would be cool. I like to play Budokan. Right? But then we weren't sure if we can make it, you know, because starting it you never know, and you of course booking a month in advance.
Sure.
So we booked a smaller one, but then we did the smaller one 4 times.
Wow. Because the demand?
And that is increasing the expectations, you know.
Yes, because the demand was so high.
And then we could have booked Budokan, but we didn't know from the beginning, you know. But this is just one example, and I like that. But it's also cool to play the same place for 4 times, you know.
That's pretty
One sound check, and the rest of it is like cool.
Feel free to do that here sometime.
Yeah.
We would love that.
Yeah, but that's what they do in Nevada, in Las Vegas. People, musicians come, or bands coming in and play for a month, and then, like Elvis did,
I've seen that, right. Exactly. Yeah. Like Santana, I think, is doing here.
And Sinatra.
And Sinatra, right, yes.
Well.
Yes. Next question I've got for you, I guess. A lot of people are probably wondering, you've now announced that you are going to be doing a full album with this lineup.
They didn't tell me.
Okay, well,
but I'll be with them.
I'll break the news.
No, it's okay. Yeah, we're going to do some tracks together.
Do you have any material written yet?
Well, no. Since we're touring, it's just like being busy with touring. Well, everybody, each individual member, of course, has ideas. And for example, me, I have like ideas. If I have a melody in my head, I put it directly to my mobile, right?
So that's what
I collect that ideas, and before we start writing, I will listen to it all, and 80% goes directly to the bin. From that 20%, I'll take like bits and pieces and make songs out of it. And I'm sure everybody has ideas individual, but we didn't really write songs yet.
Oh, understood. Sure, it hasn't been that long. So is that how you individually put your songs together? It's
like we're coming up with ideas, and then everybody starts writing songs, ideas, lyrics, riff stuff and all that, and just maybe parts and whatsoever, and then we're gonna sit together, listen to it, and deciding what's good, what's worth working with, what's worth taking it, or checking it out, and all that stuff. That's actually how it goes. But now we got 2 more members.
Right.
We never did a record like this, so that process might be a little different when they bring in their influences, right? And it can be very interesting. It can be very refreshing.
Well, that actually,
it was a long night last night.
I bet it was, and well, now you're in the States. That actually was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Is when you do that with songs, do you do it as a group, or is there a couple people, and who has the final say?
Well, we don't know. I guess, as I said, everybody starts individual with their own ideas, however they do it, and then coming together. And then, because we're living around the globe, there's like in South Germany lives the drummer. I live up north in Hamburg, in Berlin. Then there's another guitar player. We got 2 more members living on the Canarian Islands somewhere, so we're sending files back and forth, and that's how we start. You know? And then whenever we think we got enough stuff, we come together. When we can see kind of a picture, then we say, all right, let's hook up within the next 3 weeks and hang out and decide what we're going to do.
Well, it is clearly working. Clearly working.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to one of the things that I know had to be difficult is putting together set lists for a tour like this with 15 incredible albums.
We've been struggling like all the time.
Have you?
Yeah. We have so many songs, and there's still so many songs that we could squeeze in.
Sure.
You cannot really do 4 hours. But which is interesting because knowing that there's a record coming out next year or whenever, at least starting it next year, and there will be another tour, right? And another tour means you can you can squeeze in songs that you didn't play in this one. So
yeah,
there's still a lot to do.
Very daunting, but I've got to tell you that I think the set lists that you've had have been remarkable.
Yeah.
And as a fan from the very beginning,
it's nice.
I find it very hard for you to do that. But
yeah, it is. But knowing that you have the chance to get all those great songs onto the set list for the next tour makes me happy.
Sure. Yes. Absolutely.
You know,
So
it's great.
So who decides in the end which songs make the set list? Because you go back and forth, and everyone has some different opinions.
Ideas. The management has ideas, of course, but and because it's good, they're more out of the. You know, if you sometimes you're too close to see the whole picture when you do it yourself, right?
Makes sense.
But it's sometimes good. Somebody's from the outside coming in saying, "Oh, what as a fan, I would rather do this and that." You know, which is cool. But seeing it with a different perspective, it's kind of like really good. That's how we do it. It takes a long time, but you know. And then you have with Helloween, you have a band like we have to play. We have must, so to say, I call it the must play songs.
Yes.
Like Future World, Hour and Out, and all those songs. Those are for me must play songs.
Sure.
You cannot just leave them out. You know.
Right.
You have like, I don't know, 3/4 of an hour for must play songs anyway, right? And then you can start to freaking out.
Yes, you've done an incredible job, I have to say. I've got a question about kind of back in the early days. So most people, or a lot of people you talk to, say that, you know, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1 and 2, were the beginning of power metal as we know it, and got everything going. I personally have always felt that Walls of Jericho was that, and then Keepers just kind of built upon that, because I had never heard. There was lots of melodic music, and there was then thrash. And to me, you put those two together for Walls of Jericho. Was that something you thought about when you were making that album?
Well, we kind of wanted to impress people, you know. If you do like normal hard rock, only being melodic, as you said, tons of bands are doing it. Some are really, really good, of course.
Yes.
And only doing thrash, a lot of bands are doing this. And some of them are really, really good, you know. But then nobody would listen to something that's already there.
Right.
If you do it in a very, very good way, we wanted to combine all those. We found we found out it's much more interesting if you kind of mix it up, being open to a lot of melodies and harmonies, but still playing that kind of, but still giving it that thrashness, hardness. I mean, we're not a thrash band, but giving it that speed, giving it that approach, you know. And then on the Keeper 1, some people were already about to kill us when we came up with some songs like this, but we just love it, you know. We just love to do it, and we said, well, which was absolutely the right move.
Yes.
We never doubted it because we liked it, and you can only do the best thing if you in love with what you're doing.
Yes.
You know? And then there's nothing wrong with it. Some people kind of don't like it, but you know,
not many.
You cannot satisfy everybody. But some said, "Oh, you betray metal." But so what? You know, life.
You couldn't make Walls of Jericho Part 2. You had to do something different.
Yeah, life is, you know, no. Got to do something.
Right, you have done it. That was great. So I guess I'm curious too, when you finished Walls of Jericho, because that album, I tell you, that album had an incredible effect on me and my musical life, you know, for the past 33 years. So when you were done with that, did you sit back and go, I think we've just done exactly what we were setting out to do. We've done something different and special?
Yeah. That's what we, as I said, we wanted to impress some people. We wanted to impress ourselves in a way. you know, but it was kind of getting real hard for trying singing and playing all that stuff you can hear on the Walls of Jericho. And as you can imagine, it's a tough job singing and playing stuff from Walls of Jericho.
Yeah, right.
And so we decided to have a singer in, actually. That was like on a live tour. It's a real heavy job doing this. But you know, we got it down somehow.
Yes, for sure. A few more questions. Your bass playing is very aggressive and very unique, and we were talking about it on the way today to the show. So this is my son.
Oh, all right.
So
bass song.
Yes, he has heard about Helloween since he was yay big, right, and how much effect it's had on me. So we talk, and your bass playing, honestly, in a lot of metal, the bass is there. It's important, but you don't hear it like you do with you.
Yeah.
Did you?
It's like, it all comes down to the same idea: how to impress people, how to make something different to stick out from the mass. You know.
Yes.
I just thought this is killer. Bass playing from Steve Harris or from Geezer Butler. Oh, my favorite bass player all over the planet is John Entwistle. You know.
Real? Okay.
And people like this.
That makes sense.
I just kind of like this. Those people are my influence, you know.
That makes sense.
And I found it amazing what you can do if you free up your mind and, you know, get away from what everybody's doing and try to make it a little more interesting than, you know, that's an aim kind of thing you would like to do this. It's not always fitting. It's very hard to squeeze it into two. Now we even get 3 guitars, but you gotta find your space. And it's also like the song has to take it, you know. Sometimes I play some stuff and then you go like, it's not really helping the song. But then you go like why, you know.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't fit if you fiddle around too much. It needs that note, you know.
You would know.
Which is easy, but it runs with it. And then you go like, you gotta find the space to do something, you know? And you gotta see where the song really needs it or where the song just needs a steady flow, you know?
Sure.
That's interesting, I like it.
Yeah.
That's music.
And it is music, and it's Helloween music, and so great answer, thank you. Another question or thing I wanted to talk about.
You mentioned Cliff Williams, you know, he's one of the best players in this style, you know.
Wow, I wouldn't have
or Ian Hill.
Thought of him.
I mean, it's even like going straight and being always on the track, being on time.
Well, they're like, the backbone, right?
Yeah, like I like that a lot too because it gives you that drive. It's aggressive and it's like solid. You know, it's the other world, but it's like cool, very cool. I like this a lot too, you know?
Right.
Just to finish that bass.
Thank you, yes. Some of my favorite Helloween materials come off some of your later albums, which I know you talked about earlier, people don't like change and things like that. But some of, like Gambling with the Devil and My God-Given Right are 2 of my favorite Helloween albums. And those albums coincide with Danny and Sasha joining the band. So I'm curious if you think they brought a different edge that made the change in those albums since then?
Of course, you got another guy in. You got two new guys coming in. Of course, they bring their influence in. And then first you have to find how you fit together, but then you're writing material, you play together, and you can see it growing together. That's a very, very fun thing. If you get new people in, you hear them play, and then you play some old songs together, which is actually there already, but still, you know, you have a different guitar player or different drummer, all right? They gotta stick a little to what's there already with the old songs, but then it gets very, very interesting when it comes to new songs, and then they can free their minds and bring some new stuff in, you know, the way they play, and then you create songs with new people sounding different.
Yeah, and it sounds a little more heavy and hard-edged to me since they came on board.
So that's also interesting to watch, you know?
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
And if we would like to have people coming into the band, if we invite music people to play with us, we're not going to say, you play this, you play that. We choose those people because we like the way they play. And of course we want to have their inspiration, their kind of playing on the record, you know.
They're not just
which makes
contract musicians. They're actually part of the band, and that shows.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. So when it comes to writing songs for albums, everybody wants the songs they've written to make the album. So all those conversations happen. Who decides in the end how that goes down and which songs make?
My dad. That's also very complicated. It's like I said, some people from the outside are always good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes your mind is too narrow. I wrote this, or this sounds, we need this. It's good to have this conversation, but we have a lot of conversation about this. Of course. It's heavy, it's not easy, but in the end of the day, you gotta find a record that's fitting, a picture that is clear. So that's very, very difficult to find, because we have always some more songs than are on the album. And so could have make a different picture, choosing different songs. But is that what you want? Or do you want it to sound or to be any other way? So that's not easy. We decide in the band, we decide with some management people from the outside, and we have the producer, Charlie Bauernfeind. He's good at, he's very, very good at watching the whole picture,
And he knows you guys inside and out.
He's gonna squeeze out the best possible note or whatsoever, and then he has a good plan always, like for the whole picture and the way the record should sound, the songs in the running order and all that, I'm not good at songs put it in the running order. I'm always wrong. But then we have people, they're very good at it, That's a good thing about having 7 guys in the band.
Right. Yeah.
I like that, Everybody has an idea when you got kind of tired or doesn't have any idea at the moment. There's always somebody having an idea.
Of course.
Out,
7.
I like that.
It's a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
A lot of good ideas.
6. But then sometimes it's like if you have 7 ideas, there's 6 too many. And that makes it a little complicated.
I'm sure it does. It'd be a real
but it's
challenge.
all right, that's when you work together,
Okay, just a couple more questions.
But it's much more fun than being a solo artist, sitting in a dressing room alone. I tell you what, the beer tastes much better with a couple of friends.
That's good. So you don't have any interest in that? You want to be together?
I'm a team player.
That's great. Do you foresee at least the plan that this lineup will continue on, and this is Helloween moving forward?
That's what it is. I don't think we need any more singers. I think we got enough of them. We got enough guitar players, and I would never ever let a bass player come in.
No, one's enough. And you're it. You've been there from the start.
There can never be enough beer for 2 bass players.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
No, that's great. I guess the last question that I really got for you is, the influence that you guys have had, that Helloween's had on so many bands like Blind Guardian, Stratovarius, which are very big bands on their own, right? And excellent bands, but I don't think they would exist without Helloween at the beginning.
Well, yeah.
Do you feel a part of them in a way, or a part of the movement?
We got a good scene in Germany. That's why I really do like the in Europe we have loads of festivals.
Yeah.
Right? We played the whole season from April, May up to September, Wacken. And we had even one after Wacken, 1 or 2. We do a lot of festivals. Yeah. Almost each weekend we have 1 or 2 festival shows. And that's where you see all those people, Otherwise they're touring over there, everybody's touring on some different places. But on the festival it's a good thing. They come all together, share a beer. Haven't seen you for a while.
Right.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I like that atmosphere.
Like with the other bands.
With all the other bands you mentioned.
Yeah.
Some of them are really good friends. And,
that's so cool.
I see them and we celebrate, Sometimes I like that, and then it's nice and warm outside. Like Scandinavia, it's nice. They have a lot of festivals. As you probably know, it can be very, very cold.
Sure.
And very, very dark. It's not really getting any daylight in a certain season of the year. So life is kind of like more mellow and a little bit, I don't know how to say, emotional or whatsoever. But then when the summertime comes up at places like this, they all go like, ah.
They're going crazy because
they know, soon it will get dark again, you know. But they use each and every minute for like celebrating good weather and festivals and all that. I kind of like that a lot, and seeing all those people.
Well, that's fantastic, and
I like that. You don't have that many festivals in
we have
America,
like none.
right? No?
I mean,
Is that
like
big,
real metal festivals, none. It's
No?
very unfortunate, and
I wonder because you could make some.
unfortunately,
good
this
summer
style
season.
of music, as you probably see, is very popular everywhere except the United States, where it was very big in the 80s.
Was there festivals in the 80s? Not even when it was big.
Well,
it was not that festival.
A few
scene,
of them,
right?
but not like a yearly kind of Wacken kind of thing in any way, even in the 80s, which is unfortunate. But
I remember I played maybe 1 or 2 or 3 festivals with other bands in the States, and that was like 15 years ago.
yeah.
Very rare.
Well, thank goodness for YouTube,
All right.
because we get to watch you through YouTube in those festivals. So thank you very much for your time, Markus.
Welcome.
It's been fantastic.
My pleasure.
And cannot wait for the show tonight. Been waiting for over 3 decades for this.
My finger hurts. I cannot do the show.
I'm going to ask you to suck it up and make it work. Please, but thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much for everybody watching Heavy Metal Television. This is Markus with
There you go.
Helloween.
There you go. Have a nice one.